and welcome to another episode of the ME7 Breakfast Show with me, Matt. Wow, we are top of the league, say we are top of the league. And also, if I may add, we want Dino back, say we want Dino back. Yes, Gills are top of the league. Obviously, yeah, look, I know we're only, 8 games into the season, but look, it's always fun to celebrate when your team are doing well. It was a great win yesterday. Obviously, we're going to get to the new section. We're going to talk about a player winning an award. I don't know if you guys have heard that. We're going to talk about the B team playing the under-18s, a couple of other little bits. Obviously, your man of the week coming up, and also your comments and questions, all that coming up on the Breakfast Show. But next up, it's the news. So, in your news for the week, obviously the big story yesterday, we beat Morecambe 2-1 at home. Goals from George Lapsley and the first goal of the season from Conor Mahoney, leading us to a 2-1 victory and getting all 3 points at Priestfield. We are top of the league, yes, that is right. I know we're only 8 games in, look, and as Neil Harris said, look, don't judge your team till you're 12 games in, but I think we can all agree what we saw in that first 25 minutes, unfortunately, until George Lapsley received the injury. It was excellent, and look, if we're going to get that going forward, we all know. I don't know if, the going is obviously that Neil Harris's team always get better in the second half of the season. That's excellent news, I think, going forward. I really think that we've got a lot of positivity there, and we're seeing a lot, and all great news basically going forward. So yeah, obviously the B team, now they played Brentford in the week and they won 4-3 away from home. An own goal, a goal from Harry Webster, Alex Giles, Ronald Sittle was enough for the B team to seal a victory away from home. I know they've got another game next week, hopefully Ollie Hawkins and Lewis Walker, who Neil Harris said in his interview this week, are back on the pitch. Hopefully they'll get some minutes, that would be great. Obviously the only real long-term injuries we have at the moment are Tim Dieng and Don Jeffries. Obviously we don't know really how long they're out for. Obviously George Lapsley did pick up an injury yesterday. That's another obviously key thing. Hopefully he's only going to be out for a few weeks. Obviously, fingers crossed. But look, he was excellent today in the 25 minutes or so that he was on the pitch. So look, moving forward, let's hope those injuries obviously aren't going to be too long. The other one, so the big one, I think, especially from a personal point of view, for himself, Robbie McKenzie picked up it was the Carabao Cup Player of the Round for his performance against Southampton at Priestfield all those weeks ago. It was an amazing performance that I missed. Unfortunately, for breaking down on the motorway. But Robbie, I've got to say congratulations. I have seen the highlights. You were absolutely outstanding that night. Well deserved. So Robbie McKenzie, the Carabao Cup Player of Round 1. Now, obviously, as I mentioned a minute ago, there was about Lewis Walker and Ollie Hawkins hopefully playing in a B team game next week. Obviously, I'll look out for the result. Once I get the result, I will give you guys a shout. Look, another big one. If you weren't at Priestfield, you might have missed it. But LED advertising has been installed all the way around the pitch. It looks fabulous. I love the graphics that they have that come up on it. Brad, well done, absolutely. Joe, well done, absolutely. Anyone who was involved in it, it's perfect. It looks great. I'm going to do a bit of pitching, Brad, so look, if you want to hire me as a salesman, here it goes. Guys, if you're a company, if you're a business, Gillingham are massive everywhere we go. Please get your LED advertising done through the club. Look, it's going to be totally worth it. The boards look amazing. Gillingham under-18s. This is the big one. I believe it was yesterday. They played against Swindon Town. Unfortunately, they lost 2-0 at home to Swindon Town, unfortunately. But look, moving forward, Gillingham under-18s, there's going to be a lot of young players in there. Let's keep an eye out on them. Let's see how they go forward for the rest of their season. Another bit of sales here for Brad, if you want to hire me, I am available. Gillingham's Golf Day, that is coming up this week. So the Golf Day, that is on the 20th of September. So you get a chance to play with GFC players, staff and club legends. if you're interested, please pop over to the Jules website. Look, I am a golfer myself. Unfortunately, I will be stuck at work, so I can't play. But if you are off work on the 20th, please get down and support Jules and have a chance to maybe play with some of the players and ask them a few questions while you're playing around and maybe score a few birdies. Look, that's all that for your news for this week. I'm going to be doing your play with the week and then your comments coming up, guys. The player of the week then for this week. Well, look, three choices, three players who were I believe that were on the pitch were absolutely outstanding. One of them wasn't for a long time. We might give you a bit of a clue on who that might be, but I honestly was they were all on the pitch. They were absolutely outstanding. So those three players are Macaulay Bonne, Connor Mahoney, and George Lapsley. Well, it's time for your comments and questions, anything you've sent in for the week. So, Stuart Lewis, now this is quite a good one actually, I like this question. So, is it time for Neil Harris to rip up the rule book and go for a bold and brave 4-1-4-1 formation with just the one anchor? I believe we have enough talent to do this, and I've got to say, in terms of personnel, yes. 100% we've got the players to do it. Do I think Neil Harris would ever do it? I don't think so. I don't think he would necessarily be that bold. Maybe not this season. Look, if he was still around next season and we hadn't got promoted and we still had the same players, then yeah, maybe. But look, I don't think so at the moment. I think he likes the idea of having two holding midfielders, one who is literally the anchor and one who will sit just in front and add that extra bit going forward. But ultimately, I think he'll always stick with sort of the two anchor situation. Although I do like to say, I really do like the idea of a 4-1-4-1 formation. So, Stuart, brilliant question, thank you. Lee Clifton, was the foul the correct decision, or did Macaulay Bonne have a perfectly good goal ruled out for a soft foul in the first half? I said this on the podcast last night. I 100% believe that foul should not have been given. It was soft. It was two players colliding into each other. That's what it looked like for me. It was accidental, but look, as we said on the podcast last night, the standard of refereeing in this league, unfortunately, is poor. Had we VAR, the referee would have allowed play to go on. Bonne would have put it in the net. It would have then been reviewed. But unfortunately, we're League Two. We don't have the joys of VAR. But I've got to say, Lee, thank you for your question. Obviously, please keep sending them in. Jill, stats, facts and trivia. With Lapsley likely out for the next game, would you play Williams as the winger and Nichols as the 10, or Clark as the winger and Williams as the 10? So, look, I've got to say, I've got a lot of love for Jayden Clark. On a personal note, obviously, if you watched the video last week, he did send me a message. So, Jay, I've got to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for sending you taking time out of your day to send me the message. A lot of love there. Thank you, Bob, brother. So, look, for me, I do like Jayden Clark. I'm not, on a footballing level, I think he's a real talent going forward. So for me, I would play Clark on the wing. I would play Williams in the 10. That's no disrespect to Nichols at all, but I just think we have a natural 10 in Williams. If Lapsley is out, let's play Williams in that position. So that would be my personal opinion. Obviously, if you think I'm wrong, please tell me below in the comments. German Jules, how feasible is it for us to maintain our first half performance throughout the entire game moving forward, or is that unrealistic? I've said it on podcasts before. The first sort of 8 to 10 games is literally like round one of a boxing match. You're kind of feeling out your opposition. You're also feeling out yourself, how you're feeling for the fight ahead. And ultimately, this is what this team is doing. I don't care what you say. 4 away wins at 1-0 when last season we couldn't buy an away win in the first half of the season. That is something to be proud of. Whether you win brilliantly or whether you win ugly. It doesn't matter. A win is a win for me at the end of the day. I believe going forward, as this team gels more, as this team kind of gets going, as this team bonds and becomes a unit. And look, I've said it before, Neil Harris's teams in the second half of the season always get stronger. Look where we are in the league right now. Okay, we might not be top of the league come December. We might be sort of in the playoffs. Who knows what the future holds. But I just believe with the talent we've got, with the options potentially, obviously come January, if we need to add, we can add and what have you. We have got a really strong squad. And at the moment, look, League Two football is all over the place, but once we kind of get that unity going and once we get that sort of bond there, I really do feel that like what we saw in the first half yesterday will carry us through to second halves as well, and we'll be able to neutralise those threats. Oh, sorry if you heard that ping. We'll be able to neutralise threats a lot easier. But look, going forward, as I said, for me, Gillingham are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And look, what we saw yesterday, what we saw last week, it's only the start. It's the start of, for what Brad has said, is a sleeping giant about to awaken. Another question from Lee Clifton. After serving a 3-match ban suspension, Ethan Coleman returned to the starting lineup, playing alongside Shaw Williams in central midfield. What are your thoughts on Coleman's performance for Gillingham against Morecambe today? I thought Coleman today was perfect in the what I call the invisible role. It's not the role that's going to grab the headlines in every single game, but he was perfect in that situation. He set up Lapsley's goal. I believe he got the flick on to Mahoney for his goal as well. We have missed him the 3 games that he was banned. And we've talked about it earlier, the standard of refereeing, why he got sent off is still beyond me, and how Tim Dieng's challenge that got him injured for 6 weeks to only got a booking makes no sense. That is unfortunate with the standard of refereeing that we have, but look, he's back now, and I think you can see that we have really missed him, and he is an integral part of this squad. I said it on a pod the other night, he is a player that, if we can keep hold of him, we could quite literally build a team around him. We could build a team around him, Don Jeffrey, Shad at the back as well, Connor as well. We've got a really good core to our team here. But the thing is, if a big boy comes along, I think they would snap Ethan Coleman up in a heartbeat, because I think we've got a championship quality player in him. He's not there right this very second, but it's on the edge. He is outstanding, and I am so glad we have him at Gillingham Football Club. And look, guys, I'm going to say on that note, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it through to the end of me ranting for 15 minutes or whatever it's been, thank you so much, guys. As always, up the Gills.